Well, not a great result for Tottenham last night, losing 1-0 to Ajax, especially as it's at home in the home leg in the new London Stadium. And you know, if either of my two viewers are interested in geography, the London Stadium, if you look out the window there, I think as the crow flies, it's probably about 15 miles that way. Obviously, if you drive in and you get lost, it's probably about 55 miles. But anyway, on to the match. So the first 30 minutes, Ajax were absolutely phenomenal. You had Daley Blind at the back, controlling the back. You had Frankie de Jong in midfield. He looked like me. Could have had his slippers on and a cup of tea, strolling around the pitch. And then you had Van der Beek up front. I think his name is pronounced Van der Beek. Sounds a bit like a gourmet meal for one from Marks and Spencer's. But anyway, they were prolific. They were passing in triangles, moving, incisive passes. And Tottenham really didn't know what was happening to them, and it was no surprise really. 15 minutes I think we were in, and a beautiful passing movement in the Ajax midfield, and then a lovely slotted pass through to Van der Beek, and he tricked Lloris and popped the ball in the net. And the referee was obviously concerned about offside, but with his able assistant VAR, they proved that the goal was correct. And it's worth pointing out the referee really was absolutely superb last night. Referees get a lot of stick when they have a bad game, but has to be said, he was superb. So 30 minutes, Tottenham really looked in a daze. And then the game turned on quite an unusual incident, really. Vertonghen was challenging for the ball up in the Ajax penalty area. Not sure quite what happened. Don't know whether he got an elbow from the goalkeeper or he headbutted one of his own teammates, but he went down, really bad injury on the side of his nose there. Blood everywhere. I don't know whose turn it is to wash the Tottenham kit, which of the players is washing the Tottenham kit this week, but they've got the short straw. There was blood everywhere. Anyway, cut a long story short, Vertonghen spent the rest of the game in the medical room. I think he's okay, but he was dazed. But it actually worked to Tottenham's favour, really. The Spurs manager, he brought Sissoko on. He was absolutely outstanding when he came on, but it forced him into a 4-4-2. At the time, at 30 minutes, they were really struggling. They were playing a back three, but their two wing backs were sort of being forced back, making it a back five, and they weren't really marking anyone, and Ajax were controlling the midfield. Anyway, he switched it to a 4-4-2. The last 15 minutes was a bit more encouraging for Spurs in the first half. A couple of chances. Sissoko had a blistering shot towards the end of the first half. And they went into the changing rooms. They wouldn't have been happy, 1-0 down, but I think it could have been a lot worse. Anyway, the second half, they came out, they played a lot better, did Spurs, in the second half. The back four looked settled, the midfield controlled it, and like I said, Sissoko was out of this world. He was my Spurs man of the match, really. The problem was the front two. You've got Loretta and Lucas Demore up front, and they worked hard, but they haven't got that quality of Kane and Son. And to be fair, I think they could have played for another 3-4 hours. I don't think they'd have scored. Lucas Moura, I can't really make my mind up about him. I don't know whether he's not quite got it, or whether he just needs some new studs in or something. He seemed to spend half his time slipping over and sat on the floor, but don't know. It's going to change for the second leg. You've got Son back from suspension. Kane doesn't look like he'll be back, so you've got Son coming back into the team. So it's Plan B really for the second match. I think if I was Pochettino, I would stick with the 4-4-2. That worked a lot better. It meant that Rose and Trippier could push forward a little bit easier. Ajax don't play with a traditional centre forward, so I think they can cope a lot better with that way and fill the midfield a little bit more, control Ajax that way. I think with Son back, that will cause Ajax some problems. I think the other thing that will have an influence, which worked in Ajax's favour this week, Ajax had a full week to prepare for this game, whereas Tottenham were slugging it out with West Ham at the weekend. Well, this weekend, I think it's Sunday, Ajax have got a big game there in their Dutch Cup final on Sunday. So they haven't got that same preparation time for next week. So I think that'll have an influence. Can Spurs do it? It's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a real tough one. They're going to have to pull it out of the bag. Ajax did look impressive at times. Can they do it? Yes, they can. I think with Son back, he will cause issues for Ajax. They need a little bit of luck, but here's to the second leg, and we'll see. Thanks for watching.